Who's ready?
Oh boy.
Live television is supposed to be predictable. Hosts ask questions, guests share stories, and everyone smiles for the camera. But that's not what happened when a legendary soap opera icon sat down for what seemed like a routine interview. Just what started as a celebration of an incredible career suddenly took an unexpected turn when the host made a request so surprising that nobody in the studio saw it coming. Moments later, millions of viewers watched as a dramatic slap unfolded right on live television. The shocking moment immediately grabbed attention, but the real story goes much deeper than a single slap. Behind the laughter and viral clips is a television legend whose journey almost never happened at all. In fact, she once turned down the role that would make her famous, only to come back and create one of the most unforgettable careers in daytime television history. Blamges from bizarre storylines and unbelievable comebacks to a legacy that has lasted half a century, there's a reason fans still can't get enough of her. And what happened during that interview revealed exactly why she remains one of television's most beloved stars. And so, how did a simple morning show appearance turn into one of the most talked about moments of the day? And why are people suddenly looking back at the incredible career that made it possible? Let's get into it. The interview began like any other morning show segment. Craig Melvin welcomed Deidre Hall to celebrate an incredible milestone. 50 years playing one of daytime television's most iconic characters. Everything seemed normal as they reflected on her legendary career and the unforgettable moments that made her a fan favorite. But then Craig brought up something viewers might not immediately associate with Marlena Evans, her famous slaps. Over the decades, Marlena had delivered countless dramatic smacks that became classic soap opera moments. As clips of those scenes played on screen, Craig couldn't hide his admiration. Then came the unexpected twist. Blonde. Instead of simply talking about those memorable scenes, Craig made a surprising request. He told Hall that being slapped by her would be one of the greatest professional honors of his career. The audience laughed, but Craig appeared completely serious, without missing a beat. Hall agreed. What happened next left everyone watching, eager to see whether the soap legend still had the magic touch after all these years. But, as funny as the moment was, it wasn't the most surprising part of Deidre Hall's story. Long before the viral slap and the laughter on live television, Deidre Hall had already secured her place as one of the biggest names in soap opera history. Loved for generations of viewers, she isn't just an actress, she is Marlena Evans. Since first appearing on Days of Our Lives in the 1970s, Hall transformed the character into one of the most recognizable faces in daytime television. While many soap characters come and go, Marlena became the heart of countless storylines that kept fans tuning in year after year. And what made her stand out wasn't just the drama. Hall had a unique ability to make even the wildest plots feel believable. Whether Marlena was facing personal heartbreak, family conflicts, or some of the most unexpected twists ever seen on daytime TV, viewers remained invested because of Hall's performance. And over the years, she built a loyal fan base that stretched across multiple generations. Parents who watched her decades ago eventually introduced the show to their children, creating a rare level of longevity few television stars ever achieve. By the time she reached her 50-year milestone, Hall wasn't simply celebrating a successful role. She was celebrating a television legacy that very few performers could ever match. But what's even more surprising is that this legendary career almost never happened at all. As hard as it is to imagine today, Deidre Hall nearly walked away from the role that would define her entire career. When she first auditioned for Days of Our Lives in 1976, Hall wasn't convinced the opportunity was right for her. In fact, she later admitted that when producers offered her the role of Marlena Evans, she assumed she wasn't their first choice. She believed other actresses had probably turned it down before the offer reached her. Demdia, because of that assumption, Hall initially said no. For many actors, that decision could have changed everything. One missed opportunity can mean an entirely different career path. But in Hall's case, fate had other plans. Not long after, the producers contacted her again. This time, Hall looked at the opportunity differently. She realized how much she actually wanted the role and decided to give it a chance. Blend, that single decision would prove to be life-changing. What started as a role she almost rejected eventually turned into a 50-year television journey, making her one of the longest-running and most beloved stars in daytime TV history. And once she stepped into the world of Salem, the drama was only just beginning. Once Deidre Hall stepped into the world of Salem, the show quickly became more than just a job. It turned into a nonstop cycle of chaos, drama, and storylines that pushed the limits of daytime television. Mindus, her character, Marlena Evans, wasn't written to live a quiet life. Over the years, she was pulled into some of the most outrageous and unforgettable plots in soap opera history. From intense family conflicts to shocking twists that left fans questioning what would happen next, Marlena became the center of it all. But nothing defined her legacy more than the way the show constantly refused to let her go. In soap opera fashion, Marlena has been killed off multiple times, only to somehow return again and again. Each return wasn't just a surprise for fans, it became part of the character's identity. Bland, one of the most talked about storylines, even pushed things into pure television legend territory. When Marlena became part of a possession arc that fans still talk about today. It was the kind of wild storytelling that only daytime TV could deliver, and Hall fully committed to every moment of it. Lane through it all, she remained at the center of the show's most dramatic eras, proving why producers kept bringing her back no matter what happened on screen. And even after 50 years of storylines that would break most characters, Hall still wasn't done yet. Back in the Today studio, the conversation suddenly shifted from nostalgia to pure live TV unpredictability. Craig Melvin, half joking but fully committed, reminded everyone that he wasn't going to let this moment pass without experiencing one of Marlena Evans's famous slaps. The energy in the room changed instantly as Deidre Hall agreed to play along, but this wasn't going to be an ordinary moment. Before anything happened, Hall did something unexpected. She stepped into full professional mode and broke down exactly how the slap would work for camera. She explained the angle, the timing, even how Craig should react so it looked real without anyone getting hurt. It was part acting lesson, part behind-the-scenes masterclass from someone who had done this for decades. Then came the moment. On cue, Hall raised her hand, and Craig snapped his head back dramatically as if he had been hit in a classic soap opera scene. The studio erupted in laughter as the moment landed perfectly for the cameras. Craig even exaggerated his reaction, briefly pretending to be emotional just to sell the bit. But not everything went as planned. In the middle of all the chaos, the sound effect meant to complete the slap moment missed its timing, making the scene even funnier for viewers watching live. Within minutes, clips of the moment started spreading online, turning a playful TV exchange into a viral moment that fans couldn't stop replaying. And as the laughter settled, it became clear this wasn't just a funny segment. It was another example of why Deidre Hall still knows exactly how to command a moment after all these years. After the laughter faded, the conversation took a more genuine turn, revealing something far more meaningful beneath the viral moment. At 78, Deidre Hall could easily have stepped away from the spotlight years ago. Yet she continues to return to Days of Our Lives with the same energy she had decades earlier. When Craig asked her why, her answer wasn't about fame, headlines, or even legacy. Blamed for Hall, it comes down to connection. Lanja, she spoke warmly about the people she has worked with for years, describing the set more like a family than a workplace. After spending half a century in the same world, the bonds she has built behind the scenes have become just as important as the characters she plays on screen. Bland, then came her light-hearted comment that summed it up perfectly, joking that as long as her keycard still works, she's not going anywhere. It got a laugh, but it also revealed something real about her loyalty to the show. Bummed for Hall, Marlena isn't just a role she plays. It's a part of her life that has grown alongside her through every storyline, every comeback, and every era of daytime television. Bowen? And that long-standing bond raises a bigger question about why moments like this still resonate so deeply with audiences today. Moments like the live slap might look like just light entertainment on the surface, but they reveal something deeper about why daytime television still connects with audiences even today. Blend in a world where most clips are short, scripted, and carefully edited, seeing a spontaneous, unscripted feeling exchange on live TV stands out instantly. It reminds viewers that anything can still happen when the cameras are rolling, especially when legends like Deidre Hall are involved. There's also something timeless about seeing long-running stars still active in the spotlight. At a time when most shows cycle through cast changes quickly, Hall represents a rare kind of stability in television, a performer who has stayed with one character long enough for audiences to grow up with her, age with her, and keep rediscovering her story. Blindy for fans. It wasn't just about the slap. It was about watching someone who has been part of their lives for decades still having fun, still engaging with the audience, and still owning every moment she's in. And that's why clips like this spread so fast. They blend nostalgia, humor, and history into a single moment that feels bigger than it actually is. Billions. But even after all the laughs and viral attention, the real story of Deidre Hall's journey still comes down to one simple thing: a career that almost didn't happen, but ended up shaping television history in ways no one could have predicted. The slap on live television might be the moment that grabbed everyone's attention, but it's far from the full story. Woke. What really stands out is how a simple morning show interview turned into a reminder of just how long Deidre Hall has been shaping daytime television. From nearly turning down the role that defined her career, to building a character that survived decades of extreme storylines, her journey is one of persistence, timing, and unexpected choices. Craig Melvin's playful request added a viral twist, but it also highlighted something deeper: how rare it is to see a star still so connected to their legacy after 50 years in the same role. And maybe that's why this moment resonated so widely. It wasn't just about a slap. It was about a career that refused to fade, a character that keeps returning, and an actress who still shows up with the same presence she had from the very beginning. Brilliant in the end, it leaves you with one question: how many modern TV stars will still be making moments like this half a century from now?